This is Love, Sex, and Society with Bridget and Don. Please like, subscribe, and share.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Love, Sex, and Society with Bridget and Don. I'm a little hoarse tonight. I went on vacation and had a damn ball, and my voice ain't recuperated yet. So please forgive me, people. What's going on, Bridge? Oh, why can't I hear you? Now I can't hear. What's going on? Can you hear me? I can't hear you though. Oh, why can't I hear? Producer, go off camera and come on and see if I can hear you. Say something.
Something.
Okay, cool. I can hear you. Why can't I hear Bridget?
Did she say anything?
Yeah, she did. Say something, Bridge. Nope, can't hear you. You might have to drop out, come back in. Technical difficulties, people. We gonna be with y'all though. Hope everybody's had a good week so far. It is Hump Day Wednesday. All right, let's see.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Cool. All right, we on. You know, technical difficulties, but we can do it. All right. So we're gonna start this off with are women in their 30s and 40s settling more now, or are they just becoming more realistic in what they want?
I don't know. I think it's like 50-50. I think if they're settling, it's just because they're comfortable with who they're with, even if like, you know, they know like that person ain't really good for them or whatever the case may be. But then I think you have some that what was the question again? It was, are they settling or what? What was the other part?
Or are they just going to be more realistic in what they want?
Yeah, and I think some are just being not real. Well, I guess realistic with what they want, but also realistic with what's out here. You know, so
I didn't think about that one.
Yeah, I think some women are the ones that are not settling are just being more realistic about. Not to say that they're like feeling hopeless, but I think some of them are just realistic when it comes to, you know, it might not be a good pick of men. And so what I really think that a lot of women are doing in their 30s and 40s, I think they're valuing their friendships more than anything. Because, you know, if you do have a solid friendship with women, you know, if you do have that genuine friendship with women, it's really a support, you know, system. I feel like women, we could, and the thing is with us women, we're not really scared to be vulnerable with our closest friends. So if we're going through things, so I think we're getting like that emotional connection from other women, you know, we're getting support, we getting love, you know. I think the only thing that you're not getting from another woman is like intimacy, you know. So I think some women are realizing to just appreciate what they do have, versus just settling to say, oh, I have a man, but he's not, you know, being emotionally supportive and all those other things, you know.
Yeah, I think a lot of what you said factors in. I think the pick of men, at least from what I hear from women, the pick of men are not that great anymore. So I think that women are kind of just saying, you know what, I may not have the perfect person that I envisioned when I was in my 20s, but I'm gonna try to get as close to that as possible, and you know, make the rest work. Which is not a bad thing. I've had women actually say to me like, "You're not what I envisioned myself being with," and I was thinking to myself, well, you probably couldn't get better than me anyway. But that was just me. I was just being cocky. But I think that more and more women are realizing, okay, so when I was in my 20s, I had a list of 30 things I wanted in a guy. It's like, okay, well, if I get 15 out of those 30, I might be okay. I might be able to make that work. Depending on what the 15 are, I've had women at work even tell me, saying like there's no more good men out there. And I look at it like, is it really that bad? Like, is the pick of men out there right now really that bad? I know a girl who just got married, and like for the most part, she thinks the world of a man, but she still feels like she didn't get everything that she wanted when she was in her 20s and 30s. She's in her 40s now. She's like, I didn't get everything I wanted in a man, but I got good enough to make me happy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Guys need to step their game up. I think, what I'm saying, like guys are just being stat quo as opposed to, those guys who went above and beyond, or even the guys that's married who go above and beyond, every day they want to make sure that their woman feels special and feel loved. Guys now, you know what I'm saying, they just like, yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
And I know a young lady or a woman who is real simple to deal with, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So she would be like an easy person to get along with, but the one person that she wanted, sold her short on the simplest things. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Like when you get into your 30s and 40s, I think you are more realistic in what you want. But I also think that you're also at the point where you're not going to just accept anything either. So it's kind of like a try to find the middle ground.
Yeah. I don't believe that there are no good men out there. I do believe there are good men. I feel like they might, to some women, it might not be the men that they're physically 100% attracted to. And even then, I feel like there are probably men out there that are physically attracted, but I think also too, being realistic, that women have to also realize you have to be the type of woman that type of man will want, so, and I think like, some women just, us being raised to be independent and like too dominant, too masculine sometimes. We talked about it on here before, but I just feel like if you want a certain type of man, you have to be what he wants in return, and so he might not want a woman that's rough around the edges, not to say to change yourself, but you have to also be realistic of why are we attracting these type of men, and it might be something within ourselves,
Yeah.
Because regardless of what we say, like, of course no woman wants like to be cheated on or nothing like that, but it's something that it's like, it's something, not to say like you're the issue, women are the issue, but it's something in these men that if you keep attracting, it's something that you're choosing, as a woman. So it's something that ultimately you like, something about that person that keeps getting this type of quality of man. Not to say that he's not putting on a facade trying to act like somebody else, but I think women have to be realistic that if you do want a certain type of man, you have to carry yourself and be the type of woman that man wants to attract, yeah. And then I don't know, I think the thing with men is I think the thing I really, because I think like, just like you said, a woman can say, oh, a man has like 15 things out of the things that I want out of a man. But I think certain things become true deal breakers, so even if you got the 15, it's certain things that could wipe all of those 15 away. That it's like, okay, well, because you do this one flaw, I don't want none of that 15, you know. And I think the two things is infidelity, and I also think like emotional immaturity. Like I feel like a lot of men can be emotionally immature, and that's why I think I said women like value their friendships, because us women, one thing we know, we're emotional, you know, that our
Mm-hmm.
emotions go up and down, you know. But because of that reason, because we've always had to deal with emotions, majority of women know how to process their emotions and they understand it, you know. So even in a friendship, you know, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes when you have a friendship with two women, even if there is a misunderstanding, it's like we can usually come to a common ground. But like, how do you come to a common ground with someone who is just choosing to be emotionally immature, you know, who does not know how to
Mm-hmm.
process their emotions? And I think that's the biggest thing with women is like when they're not feeling heard, when they're emotional about things. I think they like mentally check out when it comes to men, you know, because it feels like you're dealing with a child, you know.
Mm. I
Yeah.
agree. And I think for some women, that emotional immaturity is a hard stop for them. Like
Mm,
they can't they can't see everything else at that point,
yeah.
because if if a woman's dealing with an emotional situation and they can't get their man to reciprocate or meet them with that, you know, I think that that's almost a hard stop for them, because I don't care if that guy does everything else to wish you off your feet. If he can't be there for you in your time of need, or when you just need to express yourself emotionally, how can you even enjoy the other things? Because um, as Renee came on the show and educated us on, and for everybody, check out that episode with Renee the comedian, because you'll learn a lot about women, guys. I'm telling you, he schooled the shit out of me, and I was like, damn. But when he took the time to research and really try to understand his woman, he started understanding and appreciating the things that she was going through. So sometimes guys have to sit back and go, you know what? I'm not dealing with the man.
Right.
So a woman is going to be more emotional at times. And there has to be times when I have to be there to either just listen, provide a shoulder. But what I can't do is ignore her emotion.
Right.
Um, Sometimes I have to let her know that there is a soft side inside of me that can accept that and help her deal with those emotional moments. So I think we, as men, we've gotten so on this, I have to be tough, I have to be strong, but you forget that you're dealing with a soft individual.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you got to be soft. You got to be that soft person for them. So,
Yeah.
um, and I
It,
think some guys allow themselves to get the big head as well.
mm-hmm.
Um, you know, the guy that goes to the gym all the time and he works out and he's fit, and you got women pawing over you, and you're constantly sitting there going, well, if this woman's pawing over me, I can find another one, and I can find another one. Instead of saying, yo, I found a good one, I'm gonna chill, and the hell with everybody else who's making a big fuss out of me. I gotta enjoy and appreciate the one I got, because
Right.
usually you'll miss out on a good one, and you'll get a bunch of pigeons that you chasing around in the street. So
Right.
yeah, um, and I think women have gone through that too. That phase of, oh, I got 50 guys telling me I look good, so why should I settle for one when I got 50 telling me? Yeah, but you got 49 wrong ones, and you got one right one that's telling you, you know what I'm saying, how good you look, how much they appreciate you.
You got
And
49 that just want to fuck.
right, 49 that just want to get in your pants,
Mm-hmm.
and you ignoring that one good guy because you like, well, shit, I got 49 chasing me.
Yeah.
So,
I think with the I think with the emotional immaturity, when a man like shuts out or shuts down when a woman is trying to express her emotions, it becomes like a domino effect of like a woman feeling like, okay, well, I noticed that when something is bothering me and I try to express it to him, he ignores me. So that's
Mhm.
just making her feel like, and I feel like this applies to anything, but it's gonna make her feel like I can't come to you when I'm going through things, or whenever something is bothering me about me and you, I have to walk on eggshells to not make you upset about it, and
Yeah.
that's not a relationship, that's basically teaching your partner that she can't confide in you when it comes to things that she's going through or things that's bothering her. When in reality, when you're in a relationship or partnership, you should be able to come to each other when something is bothering either one of y'all.
Yeah.
Um, so I think with that, that's why like if a man is just being emotionally immature, that is like a huge deal breaker for women because once she feel like she can't be heard, what else is left?
Right.
It's like, like I said, it's a domino effect. So it's gonna she's not gonna feel like she's gonna that's a part of being intimate and vulnerable with someone. So um yeah, I think that is like a big reason why women are just becoming okay, of and I just feel like when you are in a partnership, whether you're a man or a woman, I just feel like when your partner is going through something, because I feel like women do it to men too. Like I feel like people need to practice empathy more. People just
Hmm.
me, you always doing this to me, but you're like when someone's coming to you and letting you know I have an issue with something, just put yourself in their shoes for a second. Really think
Right.
like if this was done to me, how would it really make me feel? And I think that's the problem with the world. I just feel like people aren't empathetic, and it's a lot of people are very like self-centered and selfish, and all they care about is themselves and their feelings, and but you can't be self-centered in a relationship. You can't want the benefits of this amazing person, but it's only about you, it's only about your feelings, and when they going through stuff, I don't want to hear it. That's not a relationship.
Yeah, I think we've some men has gotten so caught up into being the masculine man that they ignore the person who's right there for them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
um, and especially when a woman's going through something, they'll sit there and they'll go, well, you know what? That's not how I'll deal with it. So I really can't pay attention to how you would deal with it. Um, and it puts a woman off. Like if I can't be vulnerable and who I am designed to be when I'm around you, then why even try for everything else? Why even try to pursue going forward if the one thing that I know I am going to need from you, without a
Mm-hmm.
shadow of a doubt, I may not need you to be Superman in the streets every day with me, but I know I will need at some point. I will need somebody who I can talk to about situations. Just like you said, when you feel like you got to walk on eggshells around someone. I dealt with someone who felt like she could never tell me about myself because she felt like she would hurt my feelings. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, nah, I'm me. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Tell me what's really going on so this way we can get it out the way, get past it. But because she felt like she couldn't talk to me because all of the guys that she dealt with previously wouldn't allow her to express herself. So when I felt like, okay, if you can't talk to me about the things I'm doing wrong, I'm going to continue to do the wrong thing, which is just going to irritate you. It's going to end up causing a demise. So I felt like, why should we continue? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? If you can't be honest with me about the things that I'm doing wrong or how you feel, why continue? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why press this forward? Why waste 5, 6, 7 years of our lives just to find out that this is not going to work because we can't be honest with each other?
Right.
Um, you have to be. And if you can't do anything else in a relationship, you got to be honest with each other. You got to say, look, this is how I feel today. I'm not feeling my best. or I'm feeling down, I'm feeling depressed, I'm just not at my best right now. And I need to talk to you because you're the one person who has to understand what I'm
Yeah.
going through. Um, I've seen couples where like not living together, but just dating, and they'll text the other person just to check a box. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
"Hup, I text you today. I said good morning. You know what I'm saying? I said good afternoon. I said good evening. I checked the boxes, but there was no feeling behind it. There was no emotion behind it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? There
Right.
was no I text you because I was thinking about you.
Right.
It was I text you because I would need to check the box for today. I said good morning, check.
Right.
Um, I asked you how was your day in the afternoon, check.
Right.
But if you're not doing it because you really care about the person, you're gonna lose them. Um, you're gonna lose that connection that needs to be there.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think women like they expect that for a good reason. One, it's not that they want to be pursued, but they want to know that the person is truly interested.
Yeah.
Um, if I talk to you on Monday and we schedule a date for Friday, I'm not going to talk to you Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday because we already scheduled a date. That's it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like you got to say, okay, well, we scheduled a date for Friday. That's when we're gonna see each other. But I gotta still let you know Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Hey, I thought about you today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You was on my mind.
Right.
So we gotta, you know what I'm saying? Women shouldn't take less than that. You know what I'm saying? That's bare minimum shit.
Yeah.
Um, so if women settle for anything, if you settle for, okay, so I can't get 30 things, I can only get 15, make sure that that's one of the 15. You know what I'm saying? Like he's
Right.
actually there for you emotionally, and let you know that he really cares.
Right. Yeah. So my topic is the power of authenticity and why being real makes love feel safe. Um, so why do you feel like being authentic is important to make sure that your partner feels safe with you?
So a lot of guys think that the protection part that a woman seeks is I can be strong and I can hit somebody in the mouth if they say something to you. That's not the say that no saying that's not the protection that they need. What they need is who I'm with is their authentic self, and they can understand me. Um, if I need to be held, just because I need to be held, nothing wrong. I just need to feel your presence. If you can't do that with authenticity,
Mm-hmm.
she can see that, she can feel that connection is not the same.
Yeah.
Um, and a woman feels safe with someone who they can have wrap their arms around them and say everything is going to be okay. The whole world could be crashing around us, but everything's going to be okay. I may
Yeah.
not be able to fix everything. You know, I may not be able to knock down every wall that's about to hit us, but it's going to hit us together, and we going to weather this storm together. That's important.
Yeah. Um, I wanted to talk about this topic because I think this is something that I struggle with in my own life.
Mm.
Um, because I've talked to a few of my friends and I had to come to realize like something I'm realizing now. I'm like, I don't really be feeling safe with men. Now, if like a man is my friend or something, like, I feel like I'm my authentic self. But honestly, I don't know what it is about being around men that I actually like. I get like extremely nervous. And my sister was like, that's normal for people to be nervous. But I'm like, no, like, I think it's to the point where like I really shut down. And I explained that it was only one person that I ever dated in my whole life that I felt like I could be my authentic self around, like immediately, And so when they asked me the question, my friend asked me the question was like, well, what about that guy made you feel like you could be your authentic self? So I had to really like go
Hmm.
into deep thought. And the only thing that I could think was that he was his authentic self. He was not like trying to perform. He wasn't putting on no mask. Like, it was just flaws. He didn't care, goofy, like everything you could think of, just
Mm.
100% himself. And so it just immediately took this wall down that is, I just felt like I can 100% be myself. And I think like that's the problem nowadays, that I feel like um people be trying to perform. And I get it, like when you first are dating people, you want to show up and you want to seem like the best thing ever, but ultimately, like, you really do want to be yourself, because if things do work out, this person has to be with the real you. So
Right.
it's really no point of putting on this mask to be like, oh, I'm this really super super nice person, and if that's not who you truly are. I think women will respect it if I don't want to say like if somebody's an asshole or nothing like that, because that's not really gonna get you nowhere. But just like, women respect like that real raw shit. Like when a man is not like, when he's not trying to like be someone that he's not. And believe it or not, I think that would actually get people a lot further, than when people go into trying to perform to, make it seem like, I'm the best
Mm-hmm.
thing walking or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I think, I had to be real, because I'm like, dang, like, it was one person. Unfortunately, it was other things about him that I was just like, no, like. But I can respect, like, how authentic he was, because it just naturally didn't feel like I had to like be more reserved. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could be myself. If something bothered me, I would say it. He goofy, I'm being goofy. Everything just flowed very naturally. And I think we need more of that. And I know, like, with dating, it's very hard because people are nervous, because I feel like men get really nervous. And as a woman myself, I'm like super nervous. I'm not like nervous around people that, like, you my friend or something, you my homeboy. Okay, I'm not nervous around you. But a man that I really like, I'm super, super nervous. So I think like, so I know it's hard, but I truly believe like men are supposed to lead. So I feel like you gotta lead with being authentic. And I feel like hopefully that's what you get in return, from a woman or whatever. But yeah, I think people need to stop performing.
So do you think that when a guy looks at you, right, a guy approaches you, a guy meets you,
Mm-hmm.
and he sees, okay, here's Bridget, no saying she's attractive, she got her shit together. Do you think that the reason that they're performing is because they don't want to fall short in your eyes? Um, like they want to be their authentic, goofy ass self, but then they look at you and they go, "That's not what she want. Like she want this well chiseled guy."
But it's the thing of like projection. Like, you don't know what I want. Like, I feel like when
Mm,
people, like, if people really got to know me for who I am, I'm like a real humble person. Like, even the dude who I'm talking about, the dude who I was like, he was completely authentic. Like, our first date, I don't want to say where it was, because I don't want to hype his ass up or nothing. But we went to a bullshit ass restaurant, and I honestly didn't give a fuck. It was just about like spending time. The second day we went on a fucking walk. So it's not like because I'm really not a serious person. I'm goofy. So but I guess like it's people just assuming that,
mhm.
oh, she wants this type of person, or it has to be, a certain, like, I don't know, but all of that be completely wrong, because to me, I feel like I'm a very humble person. I don't know, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I could go on a fucking pizza date for all I give a fuck. It gotta be a vegan pizza, but you know, I don't care about stuff like that. But it's the same. It's just like, like I said, just like assuming like, oh, this type of person, they're gonna want to go to a 5-star steak restaurant. Like, no, like, so, or she's gonna want to, I don't know why people fucking perform. I don't know why men perform and why they feel like they need to. But believe it or not, I feel like I don't know, maybe it's them like looking at certain women and being like, I gotta, I don't know, because I ain't those women. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I
Like,
just feel like I'm very humble. So,
I think if somebody looks at you before they get to know you,
mm-hmm.
like for example, I had the great pleasure of getting to know you in an element where we could just everybody was just being their damn self. So it was
Yeah,
just cool. So I knew who Bridget was day one.
yeah,
But if somebody's standing across the room and they looking at Bridget and they going, well, no saying she wants a well chiseled, well put together, somebody who's going to present the best version of themselves. Maybe you need to break the ice by just allowing yourself to be you, and that'll maybe take down their
what you
wall.
want me to do?
Like just be you, because like
No,
if
men are the leaders though.
yeah, but if I was standing across the room and I saw a Bridge and I was like, all right, I'm about to approach Bridge, I'd be like, yo, I need to approach her like, no, I'm saying this old fly ass nigga, not knowing Bridget just like to fucking joke around and have fun and just be cool ass Bridge. So
I mean, we talked about it last time. I feel like we're all human beings. We all have an expiration date. It's never that deep to feel like I need to be perfect all the time. You know what I'm saying? Now,
mhm.
like I don't know, because if you don't really know me, then you don't know how I am. But it's not like I could say if you was as a man dating a woman who's a lawyer, or you dating a woman who's a doctor, you gotta have this level of seriousness. But like, how serious do you have to be with somebody who's a fucking hairstylist? Like, clearly they somebody that's good with talking to people. Like, what the fuck? Like, what? I don't, because I'm not gonna say it goes with your career choice or whatever like that, But I think people are just assuming based off of, I don't know, like
Appearances basically,
appearance.
because
Yeah.
when I met my wife, luckily I met her in her own element. So
Hmm.
she wasn't there to impress anybody. She was just being herself. But had I been standing across the room and I needed to go meet her, I would sit back and think, how do I need to approach this woman so that I'm well received? Because there's people who know me, and because me and my wife is together, they expected her to be this unapproachable. And then she's from Baltimore, so it's like, yeah, they was like, she got to be unapproachable. Like I can't even be cool with her. And then when they found out who she was, like this one woman that I'm cool with, she was like, oh my god, you're so down to earth, like she's not supposed to be. Like she was supposed
Right.
to be up on this pedestal that couldn't be touched. And my wife was like looking at her like, the fuck you mean I'm down to earth? Like I'm just me.
Yeah.
Um, so people see an image and they immediately say, okay, I need to approach this image this way to be well received.
This image got a lot of flaws. I had to put on makeup today, y'all, because when I say I'm breaking out so fucking bad, my skin is not skinning right now. I don't know. Like, I don't know why people think, like, even the most dolled up, beautiful women have flaws. You're not 100% all the time. So I think people need to be like more realistic. Like, this is just another human being. Like, no one is flawless. Um, and I definitely don't feel like you should, as a man. I just feel like as a man, you'll get so much further just by like being who you are, because it's either
Mm-hmm.
like that person gonna accept me for exactly who I am, or I'm just not for that person. And I feel like, believe it or not, like some of the most beautiful women are the most humblest women. Some of them, not all of them. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's just different women. And my thing is, as a man, you don't really want a woman who's not humble. So, end of the day, if you did approach a woman who isn't humble, you would easily be able to say like, "Oh, this ain't for me," as a man. So, I don't think
Mm-hmm.
you should, as a man, think like any woman is out of your league. Um, because I can guarantee you, most women don't. feel that way in return. Most women don't feel like men are out their league, even if
Right.
a man could be rich as hell and she's still not gonna think like, oh, I can't get him. Like, so I just feel like as a man, build your confidence, be authentic to who you are. I think it gets you a lot further. Women actually respect it more when you're authentic, and like just aren't if you're not scared to just be you, I don't know, even when it comes to the approach thing, I know we talked about it before, but like I don't know, I think women respect it more when men are just confident and authentic. And also, men, stop putting women that you deem like very attractive on a pedestal, and vice versa, because we said it on here before, some attractive people aren't shit. They're the ugliest people on the inside. So I just feel
Yeah.
like you don't judge people off of their appearance. You judge them, if you want to, off of their character, you know
Mm-hmm.
and stop thinking just because someone is attractive, they're unattainable, or just because they're attractive, I gotta come a certain type of way. Like, no, just show up as you are, and if they're your person, they're your person.
Yeah, I definitely will say that anytime I've dated someone and it's turned into something, you know, worth pursuing, I was myself. Me, I like to crack jokes. I like to be foolish. You know what I'm saying? Um, but it's usually when I'm in a element where I'm not really trying to get anyone. I'm just being myself, and the other person just becomes attracted to me, or we become attracted to each other.
mm-hmm,
Um, First day I met my wife, I was just there. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't there to pursue anybody. I was just being myself, and she just happened to be in an element where she could just be herself. So we met the authentic person. We met the true person
mm-hmm,
that we was later going to deal with.
yeah,
Um, but a lot of guys will look at a woman and say, you know what? Before they get to know her, they've already judged who they have to be to feel like they can attract her. I
yeah,
think that's where we lose that authenticity.
yeah.
And once we lose that, like you said, you know what I'm saying, you're not looking for this suave debonair, you know what I'm saying, motherfucking Idris Elba, motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? You looking for, well, you might like Idris Elba, motherfucker, but still, you know what I'm saying? But you still want somebody who can, you know what I'm saying, cut up, just go for a walk, act a fool, you know what I'm saying, joke around.
Yeah.
Um, and I think if guys got to know who the true Bridget was, they would be able to let that guard down and be their true self. And I think a lot of guys who probably have not been successful with dating you or getting to know you would have had a better chance because they could just be like who they really are.
Yeah, but like I was saying, I do believe I'm part of the problem too, because I feel like I've never felt safe enough when it came to like being my authentic self in front of a man, just because, believe it or not, I feel like when men are performing, like when you first meet them and they're performing, like women know that. Like,
Yeah.
so I know it. So I'm just sitting back like, okay, who the fuck are you really? In my mind, like,
Hmm.
because I can tell that you're performing, but it's also like, why are you performing? Like, why are you not being yourself? Like, because that's gonna make me more guarded, because I feel like at
Hmm.
that point I can't trust you because you trying to be super
Hmm.
perfect or something, you know. So that's why I say, like, I get it, because I think it's a difference between like being nervous and like being performative. Um, so it's like, you could both be nervous, but ultimately, I feel like it all starts with what a man leads with. So if you're leading with performing, then guard goes up, but if you're leading with being authentic, then guard goes down, and you can't do nothing but respect it, like even the dude that I'm talking about, like, this motherfucker didn't hesitate to fart around me or nothing. I was like, you know what I'm saying? And like, it's just like, how can you not be yourself around somebody like that who literally don't give a flying fuck? You know, like,
Right.
how can you just not be comfortable? Like, all right, motherfucker, like, you know, like, you just instantly feel like you're not trying to be someone that you're not. You're not trying to be perfect, you know? Um, which I think is like, you know, I think is very respectable, you know.
I think a lot of guys don't realize that women just want to have a reason to laugh, smile, and enjoy themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, that smooth guy, yeah, he might have his place or his time, but for the most part, if you make a woman smile, you make a woman laugh. You know what I'm saying? Her guard goes down because not now she doesn't have to be. She can just chill. She can basically just chill. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything's out on the table. We're just laughing. We're just joking. We're just cutting up. Because I've tried to approach women on some, you know what I'm saying, some fly shit. That ain't me. You know what I'm saying? That's not who the hell I am. You know what I'm saying? I am by far a smooth, debonair motherfucker. I'm just done. You know what I'm saying? And I cut up. And most of the time when I just cut up and be myself, most of the time that I do that, I don't care whether I get her or not. I'm just being me. You know what I'm saying? If I just so happen to get her, great. I met a young lady at a club one day. I was DJing. I walked from behind the DJ booth and I was like, yo, this is a long song. You want to dance? And she was like, you're DJing. And I was like, cool. I got like 2 minutes. You want to dance? And I'm just cutting up. If she'd have said no, I'd have went right back to the DJ booth and wouldn't have thought twice about the shit.
Yeah.
So if you approach somebody as if I'm just gonna be me, if that attracts you, great. If it doesn't, cool. But if you walk up to somebody like everything, my whole life depends on this interview right here, it's not gonna work. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
No, say it's not an interview, it's an interaction.
Yeah. Yeah, like, and I feel like confidence is like super, super attractive. You know, like, I feel like when you're confident, like that, and you just, you know what I'm saying? And you're not like, you just like, all right, I'm confident, I'm being exactly who I am. I feel like that gets you so much further when it comes to women, you know. It's respectable. I feel like even in today's day, like I feel like men really lack confidence, and men do not approach like I feel like they once did. I don't know if it's like fear of rejection, it's like low self-esteem, but I I think it's something that's rare. So I feel like, you know, if men ever want to listen to a woman, believe it or not, because it's something that's so rare that men don't really approach like that, be the man that approach. Because if you do, you're gonna notice like, oh dang, I got me a good woman. Like, you know, because it's something that a lot of men don't do. And so when it comes to a woman, it stands out. You know, a woman like, oh, he really came over here. He wasn't even scared. You know, it
Right.
it really takes you up a few notches, actually, you know, versus any other man in the room. So just learning to like be confident and just, you know, being authentic. Because if you're being authentic, then she feels safe to be authentic. And then as you're getting to know each other, y'all both don't feel like I have to lie about who I am, you know. And I feel like it's so important to start off that way, like not starting off by like performing, because then it's like a block, you know. Oh, I'm performing, so she don't want to open up, and because she ain't opening up, he getting frustrated, you know. And then his side come out, he an asshole. He's like, I don't give a fuck no more. I ain't hitting this bitch. But it's like you never gave her a space to feel like safe with you because you were never showing up being you know.
Right.
So
right. You never gave the situation a chance. There was never a chance for it to succeed because you wasn't being who you are, which made her not be who the hell she wanted to be. So you shut the opportunity down
Yeah.
so fast. Like, and I've seen dudes who, like I said, I'm just goofy. I'm not goofy because I'm looking for something. I'm just me. You know what I'm saying? I cut up, I crack a joke. Sometimes my jokes are fucking lewd and not at the right time, but I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's who I am. And I know a dude that he would try to do what I did, but that wasn't who he authentically was. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, I might say some shit about a woman's ass and joke around with her, but she's not gonna take it as me being some damn creep. She's gonna be like, "Oh, this nigga's just a damn knucklehead. He fool. He foolish."
Mm-hmm.
And he would try to do that shit, and he would get the exact opposite reaction that I would get. And I'm like, because that's not who you are. You know what I'm saying?
And women know when you're performing. You know,
Yep.
we know when
Even when
it's
you're performing like a
authentic and when
jerk.
it's not. Yeah. You know, so I don't know. I think that's really the biggest issue with the whole, because we were talking about people dating and stuff, but I think that's the biggest issue is putting on a mask, performing, acting like, it's like you don't want someone to see your flaws, but ultimately, like, nobody is perfect. Even like
Yeah.
as a man, even the most attractive women are not perfect. You got some women that you see on social media and they just like look like perfection to the T, but they take off that makeup, they got hella breakouts. Like, I'm breaking out right now, like, so it's just like we all got issues, we all got something
Mm-hmm.
with us. None of us are 100% perfect, and I think people just, I don't know. Like, I feel like with men, like, they don't want to feel judged, or I think people just don't want to feel judged, from being their authentic self. But to me, if you're trying to find your person is going to be okay with exactly who you are. They're going to be okay with the flaws that you come with. If they really like you and they learn to love you, they're going to like you for exactly who you are. You don't want someone to like you for somebody that you're not, because then you're going to keep having to like keep up with the
Mm-hmm.
image that never was yours. So people need to just stop. People just need to stop trying to act like they're fucking perfect all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and that goes for men and women. But I definitely feel like men being our leaders, I feel like y'all have to lead with being more authentic and not feeling like I have to have it all together, or I gotta act like I'm fucking rich, or I got this good ass fucking job. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I work here and I do this, that, and third. Like, like, what are you gonna lose from just being yourself? The person who was never for you, like.
But if it wasn't for you, even if you're fronting, eventually they're gonna have to find the real you. If that person is not for your authentic self, you're gonna lose them anyway. So why not start with being who you are?
Yeah.
If you don't get them, then why you didn't waste 3 months fronting and acting like you were something that you're not.
Right.
I had a close friend of mine, and he really is a goofy dude at heart. And he met this woman. It was around Christmas time. And he met her, and he was going to text her. He was like, "Yo, what should I say to, like, what do I say to break the ice?" I said, "Say something funny." I said, "Yo, here's what you do: send a message to her and say, if a white man comes and snatch you up and put you in his knapsack and run off with you, don't be scared. I told Santa that I wanted you for Christmas." And he said that shit to him. He was like, "Yo, that is the stupidest shit." But she called him laughing, and she was like, "That is the corniest line I've ever heard." But they still together to this day because he is corny. Like, that's who the fuck he is. But he was so scared to just be that.
Yeah.
And she called him, and she was laughing her ass off. But she was like, "That's the corniest line I ever heard."
Yeah.
But her guard was down. It was there. She had no guard because
Yeah.
she's like, if he's gonna do something so stupid, not knowing how it's gonna land on me, but he just put the cards on the table and he did it. She was chill. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? they still together till this day. So like, just be who you are. Like, I know there has been a lot of times when I've approached women and I've tried to be something that I'm not, and either it didn't work at all. Like they saw through that shit and it was just like, yeah, nah, nigga, I ain't interested. Or they do give me the chance, and then I'm like, well, I can't be this person forever. Like, this is not who the hell I am. So
Right.
I ain't gonna be smooth. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show up with some jeans and boots. I ain't gonna be walking up to you every day with a suit and tie on. So, but then once they see who I am, it's like, you know what I'm saying? That's not who I wanted to be with, because that's not who you presented.
Yeah.
So you got guys, we gotta let that guard down. Women just want to laugh. Like, you make a woman laugh, you don't know how much further you'll get than that whole "can I buy you a drink" shit. You know what I'm saying? Because they could buy their own damn drink, but if you make her smile, like, I don't have a problem with going up to the bar and I'll be sitting there ordering a drink. I'm like, yo, you grab my ass? Like, no, I ain't grab your ass, but I made you smile though. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We just joking around.
Yeah.
If I don't walk away with your number, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I made you smile. I made you laugh a little bit. So let's talk about people having what everybody would think is perfection and still fucking fumble the shit. Let's talk about Meg and
Klay
your boy
Thompson.
Klay Thompson. Like,
Yeah.
you had Meg, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had Megan Thee Stallion and you fumbled that shit.
Yeah.
And fumbled it stupidly.
I think everybody's like going crazy on the internet. You hear like men talking about her body count, and then you got, women like,
Yeah.
oh, it's Megan Thee Stallion. Um, I don't know. Like, do you feel so? My biggest question, because I feel like what I be seeing on social media is, do you feel like someone having a big body count, someone, what's the word I'm looking for? Somebody who showcases themselves, like, where they're like, more, I don't fucking know what word I'm looking for. More explicit. I don't know.
I think that people see the image and forget that there's a person behind that image. And
Yeah,
the
but
person that's behind that image is totally different. Like, I watched a special, and seeing who she was in that special compared to who everybody says she is or presents her to be, she's a totally different person. Like, she really is this timid woman who just wants to have a good relationship.
yeah, but
But yet,
you think like body count and how she showcases herself to the public, even though she is a artist, do you think that is deserving of being treated like, oh, she deserves to get treated on because this is how she displays herself?
first of all, a woman's body count is no more important than a man's body count. That's just unimportant to me. And maybe I'm just a different type of dude, but I could give a shit less how many men a woman's been with, because my body count ain't fucking small either. So if you have experience, if you've experienced some things in life, so be it. Um, and who she has to be as an image, I can guarantee that's not what Klay Thompson got behind closed doors. No saying
Mm-hmm.
who she has to be on stage. That's her career. That's what she got to do. But what he probably got behind closed doors was a totally different woman. And what could have been a situation, and I don't know if this is, he could have fell in love with that image on stage and didn't expect to get that soft, timid woman behind closed doors.
Yeah.
I'm not giving him a pass because you fumbled Meg Thee Stallion, nigga. You get no fucking pass from me. You fumbled a bad one. So, and I don't just mean bad in her image, but also a woman who is just a woman. Like, you fumbled a good woman. And there's a million dudes right now who will go, yo, I wish I had the opportunity that he had. But he ain't know what to do with it. Like, he want to be, I don't know, like, some guys are just serial cheaters and that's who the hell they are. But damn, nigga, you fumbled Meg, nigga. Like,
I don't know. I feel two different ways about it. I feel two different ways. I feel a little different. I feel like number one, I feel like regardless of her past, I feel like he was okay with it because he would have never got with her in the first place because he already knew her past. It's on public display. So I think for people to be like, that's what she get, you know, whatever, I don't think that's fair because he knew who she was when he got with her. You know, he knew how she showcased herself to the world. He knew, you know, she's in the public eye, so he knew previous partners she's been with. So clearly he didn't care about that when he decided to become public with her. So I don't think people should be like shaming her for that reason and saying, "Oh, well, that's why." Clearly that was not why. Um, at the same time, you know, but I think to be fair and not to take from Megan Thee Stallion, because I do like Megan Thee Stallion as an artist, but I don't know her as a woman, you know, and I haven't seen the interview that you've seen. I do know things about her past. Like, you know, I know she lost her mother the moment that she became, you know, in the limelight, and that does something to a person, number one, because your mother is one of the most important people in majority of people's lives. And then you're reaching a level of fame that, you know, well, even when women are having their children, they could be grown as hell, married and everything. A woman wants their mother in the room, you know. So imagine like reaching a peak of a career that you always wanted and you don't have your backbone with you, you know. So that's one thing. And the fact that like when someone close to you passes away, like your mother, everyone grieves differently, you know. So if she don't feel like she has someone, maybe that's what she's looking for, like, you know. And but at the same time, to be fair, because, you know, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, he's right or whatever the case may be, because he's definitely not right for cheating. Because if you're in an exclusive relationship, you should be committed and be faithful, you know. But at the same time, I can't sit here and be like, you know, to say someone is a good woman, and I'm not saying she's not a good woman, but to say someone is a good woman, you know, it's deeper than just the surface, and it's deeper than just the looks, the ass, the money, the fame. It's deeper. It's really about that person's character, you know, and that's not to justify him cheating. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what he did, I think, was completely wrong. I don't think it's fair that people are attacking her for her past, because I don't believe that was a factor at all of him even getting with her in the beginning. But at the same time, you know, I can't really speak for her character outside of what I only know her for, which is her music, you know. So I think it's deeper things that, and I don't want to like make this about them, but I mean, you could tell me if I'm wrong, Dawn, but I feel like it's deeper things to men than it is. Like, yeah, men are definitely like, you know, they're definitely like, they look for attraction when it comes to women, but they also want certain characteristics when it comes to a woman too. You know, can she listen to me? Like, is she disrespectful to me? I think it's a lot of things that come into play when you can determine someone being a good woman or even a good man, you know. So I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, she's, you know, this ain't about her, but I'm just saying, I can't sit here and be like, oh, he fumbled a good woman. He fumbled a successful woman. Yes. You know, but I can't speak on that, but it's not right either way. You know, I feel like he definitely, it's not respectable. And I think the reason why it is fucked up, because I don't know who that that, what's his name? Stefan? I don't know, because I don't watch sports. But yeah, the one black guy, he's a fucking asshole. I feel like he's
Who's
misogynistic.
Stephen?
Yes, his
Stephen
ass.
A. Yeah,
Don't be like,
I can't
be
fuck
like,
with him. He's
nigga,
an asshole.
don't be on here trying to talk down on him because he's a successful basketball player, da da da. And it's like, okay, she's the successful fucking music artist. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna sit here and tell someone they can't speak on their experience with someone just because you don't want his image to be ruined, but no one gives a fuck about her image. You know what I'm saying?
I
Um,
think that people, especially, well, I won't even say especially guys, just people in general, they look at the image of what a person is, and they have their predetermined idea of who that person is based on things that they've heard or things that they see. But if you haven't got to really know the person, you can't down them for things that you are picking up in your mind because that's not the image that they are. Um, Now, like one on one, I don't know her. You know what I'm saying? I think based on her I think it was a Netflix special. I think it was. Um, and it was the whole time she was going through all that shit with Tori and all that shit.
mhm.
Um, but she showed a vulnerable side. You know what I'm saying? It was right around the same time her mom passed. Like she showed her vulnerable side. Um, so for me, and hell, that could have been a fucking act, honestly. But like she is an entertainer.
Yeah.
But from what I saw a woman who just wants to be a woman and she wants to be successful. In order for her to be successful, she got to perform. That's what she does. She's a performer. But outside of that performing, I think she gets a really bad rap when it comes to social media. I think people on social media look for reasons to tear down somebody who they feel is perfect. Like, even
Mhm.
though that person is not trying to be perfect, they're
Yeah.
just trying to be themselves. But because they see the image of her perfection, they want to find every flaw and tear her down with it.
Right.
Um, and this Clay Thompson situation was just another opportunity for them to say, well, look, you can't be perfect. You can't be as good as you really think you are.
Yeah.
But you don't know behind closed doors, she might think I'm not good enough. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like you're fueling an emotion that she's already dealing with in her own life, and you don't even know her.
Right.
Know what I'm saying? Like, stop just because what you see in somebody, and I'm talking about like social media, just because they see this person, they try to find flaws. And I've been guilty of that in the past when I was younger. Like, I would see a well put together, pretty woman, and I would scan her body and look for a flaw.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I need to find something wrong. I need to see that you're not as perfect as I think you are.
Yeah.
Um, Growing up taught me different, but when I was younger, I would do that. And I think that's what they do with Meg Thee Stallion and a lot of other artists.
Yeah.
Um,
I
they're
don't think
looking for something.
yeah, I don't think that number one, I would never condone cheating, whether it be a man or a woman. I feel like if you're willing to get into a committed relationship, an exclusive relationship, I feel like at that point y'all like made a commitment to being just me and you know. And so I will never respect it when people cheat because if you don't want to be just committed to one person, then leave the relationship, you know.
Hmm.
You don't sit here and be like, oh well, I still want my cake and eat it too. Like you don't, that's not fair, you know, and especially if that's not what the other person went into the relationship, you know, they didn't sign up for that. So um I feel like regardless of her past, regardless of her image and how she displays herself as an artist, I don't feel like in any situation you can justify someone cheating on someone, you know. And you know, even though I might not agree, you know, because I do feel like in today's age, I do feel like female artists, and I'm gonna say specifically like black female artists, I feel like they are using like an extreme amount of sex appeal, and it might not be just my personal taste, you know. I think I feel like a woman is a sexual being, and I feel like a woman should be able to display that to a sense. But in my personal eyes, this is my own personal opinion, I just think sometimes nowadays it's a little too much, you know. For me personally, that's how I feel. Um, but I feel like if that's what Megan Thee Stallion or whoever other artist wants to display their sex appeal, then as a human being, as a woman, that's your body. That's how you choose
Hmm.
to display yourself, and that's fine, you know. And who like it, who love it, and who don't, you
Right.
know. But I definitely do feel like in the Black community, one thing I can say for sure is that I feel like Black women definitely, you know, I feel like men are so quick to speak down on the Black women, when I feel like in the white community, like white sex icons like Pamela Anderson and, you know, all these white women, they were praised, you
Hmm.
know, to do some of these very things. They in Playboy, and it's like, oh my God, you know, and they're on these shows and stuff, and they're actresses, and it's like no one's like batting the eye to them. You know, even some Black men will sit there and be like, oh, I loved her growing up and stuff like that. You know, so to sit there and try to act like a Black woman is less than a human being and she deserves the bottom of the barrel, and oh, she's displaying herself this way, so she's not deserving of love. I feel like that's not fair, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why it's like a double standard when it comes to that, you know.
Yeah,
But yeah.
I was having a conversation with one of my boys. We were talking about, female artists in hip hop these days. And he kind of had the same idea. Like if I see like women in hip hop now, you know what I'm saying? Like it's all sex. And I had to say to him, to me, they did that to take that power back. Like they was looked down upon for being women, especially in the hip hop industry.
Mm-hmm.
So they use their sex to take that power back. And if that's what they got to do, I mean, I'd rather them do that than allow men to just step on them and walk all over them. Because, like I was telling him, there was a time in hip hop when every male group or every male crew had one female artist.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got women artists who don't need a male crew behind them, and they are doing their thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like if you think back, I know we're drifting off a little bit talking about hip hop, but if you think back, you had Flip Mode Squad, you had Rod Digger, you had Rockefeller Records, you had a Million, you had Terror Squad, you had Remy Ma. Like you had a group of guys, and they let one woman in.
Yeah.
These women today don't have to do that. And if it requires sex to sell that, so be it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Glorilla, all of them, they're doing their thing by themselves. They don't need a group of guys to validate them anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Um, so a lot of women, and even women on social media, if you're using sex to say, you know what, I'm a woman, you're gonna see me for being a woman, you're gonna hear me be a woman, so be it. Like, and I don't give a damn what the hell a body count is, to be quite honest. Like your body count, your damn body count. If you had 5, 15, or 50, that's your business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, but I think, like you said, no matter who a person is, if you decided to ignore all of those things and get into a committed relationship with them, respect them for that committed relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't disrespect, you can't say, well, she's had 50 men before me, so we can't really be committed. Yeah, you can. You know what I'm saying? And you told her that that's what you was gonna be.
Yeah. Um, for sure. You know, I don't know, but then it's like I think that it's the other side, because it's like I'm not disagreeing. Like I'm not like, you know what I'm saying. I think like me, I just call a spade a spade. So I ain't gonna lie, in this whole situation, Klay Thompson is completely wrong for cheating, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like, okay, let's go back to the drawing board. Like, what about this man, this type of man, a cheating man, a man who cannot really stay committed? Why am I attracting this? You know? And it's like, I won't accept cheating. I won't accept this. I won't accept that. So also at the same time, what do I need to do as a woman to make sure I attract that type of man who is committed, who displays all the things that I want, you know? And I'm not saying like change who you are, but a lot of who you are is what you attract, you know? So
I agree.
sorry to say, but if you know, if your ass out and then a nigga a dog, he gonna want to bite. Like, you know, so you know, like, you know, and I'm not shaming her in no type of way, because I feel like as a woman, if you feel like, no, I want to be liberated as a woman, I want to show off my body, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? And again, I'm not trying to like, I don't know, because it's so hard, because I'm not justifying what he did, you know, but I'm just saying like, I think this is the other side that I hear men saying, you know, because I feel like men are dead ass wrong for saying like, oh, she deserved to get cheated on because how she displays herself, you know. But on the other side of me, how I think is just like, okay, well, maybe if you want a different result in men, maybe you have to be a different type of woman. And that's just me being realistic, you know. And I'm not taking from her as an artist. But you have to be like the type of man that I truly want. Am I the type of woman that he wants? Like, will he want this type of woman? And to me, a good man, because we're not gonna say Klay Thompson is a good man, because a good man is a man who's committed, you know, who is all the things that a woman wants, you know. Is he really gonna be okay with his woman regardless of who the fuck she is? Oh, sorry, Mary. Is he gonna be okay with her ass being out? And most good men, not all of them, because some of them be like, look, like I feel like Russell Wilson. We can use him as an example. Sierra did do some award show where she had it all out there, you know. And so you got some men that be like, my woman is in the entertainment industry. I'm confident as a man. Y'all can look, you know what I'm saying? But they come home with me, you know. So I'm not saying she can't get that, you know. But I don't know. I just it's hard. It's a hard thing for me. I just feel like as a woman, I don't think a woman should be judged if a man was willing to accept that. And I definitely don't think, you know, because I think what man can sit here and be like, oh, you're perfect. Like, how many bodies do he got?
Right.
Like, or all the men that's talking about Megan Thee Stallion, like, how many bodies do you got while you worried about her body count? You know, and why you believe that she can't keep a man, you know? I don't know.
Like guys that think along those lines, first of all, they're weak. And I don't fuck with weak dudes. Like, if you can't, there are dudes who genuinely are married to porn stars. And when their woman walks out the house, they know they about to go fuck and suck and do whatever the hell you got. That's their job. But they've accepted that. They respect her for who she is, and they accepted that shit. Now, as Meg gets older and starts to mature more, and I don't even know how old she is right now. I don't think she's that old. But as she matures, the type of man that she's going to accept in her life is going to change. Now, she may not ever change her image in who she is as an artist. That may never change, but who she is willing to accept in her life will change. And there are going to be guys that's going to say, you know what? I know who my wife is or my woman is as an artist, but I also know who my woman is when she's with me. And he can accept that. Not every guy can deal with that. Especially the guys that's, you know, that for one, probably wouldn't have a snowball's chance in hell to get with her if they met her in a damn street. So they sitting there worried about her body count, and they could never become one of the body count. But as she gets older, she's not going to say, okay, well, a guy who's a cheater, you know what I'm saying, I can I can deal with him. I can change that. You know what I'm saying? Or he's gonna change that for me. She's gonna look at life differently as she gets older. And she's gonna accept less of those imperfections than she would now.
Yeah.
A lot of the guys that she's hung out with, a lot of the guys that she's dated. The industry is the industry, and sports and music, for some reason now, just seems to crisscross into each other. So if that's all you have to pick from, because that's who you're always around, you make the mistakes of being with dudes like Klay Thompson. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
as you start to distance yourself from, I know that this is the industry I have to be in, but in my personal life, I don't have to hang out with these people. You know what I'm saying?
right.
I see them at a party and I'm walking away and I'm going to be me.
Yeah. I think the people on social media, I think, especially like the people who are like going out their way to bash her, I think it's just like a situational thing where you got some women that are very proud of their body, as an artist, women are realizing like, like using sex appeal is almost like pretty privilege.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if that's what they choose to do, that's what they choose to do. And as a woman, and I think any man that wants to deal with that, that's that type of man. Now, I feel like everybody is an individual, and I feel like every man doesn't have to want that type of woman. If you
Right.
don't want that type of woman, that's fine, but you don't need to talk down on this woman just because that's not the type of woman that you want, because every man is not the same. It's some men that would be like, that's Megan Thee Stallion. She's successful. She's very intelligent. She's smart. She's, got businesses or, all these endorsements and stuff. And I see deeper than just the sexual image, and it's some men that will want to be with that, and then whoever she is behind closed doors that we don't know, she might have like great character, very caring or whatever, she might have those things too, that a man is like, that's what he wants, but I think like as a man, if you don't want that type of woman, cool, but you don't need to bash that, but I definitely think the one thing I can say, because I don't know, I'm definitely not talking down on Megan Thee Stallion. I don't think it's okay that she got cheated on. I don't think it's fair for no one to bash her on her past just because it was in the public. Because if some of y'all fucking past was in the public, y'all would never come the fuck outside.
Right.
But I do believe there is a huge double standard when it comes to women, when it comes to like the sex appeal, like, because I feel like if it's such a big issue, it should be an issue all across the board. It shouldn't be, oh, it's okay when it comes to white women who are sex icons, or even black men that are sexual icons. You got fucking, you got fucking Chris Brown with the red couch, humping bitches. You got fucking Usher feeding cherries and bitches off acting like they balls and shit. You got, what is it, Pretty Ricky and them spitting in them and fucking, what's his name, Kevin Gates spitting in people's mouths and stuff. I just feel like if you want to sit here and have something like negative, like stop tearing down the black woman, but praise the white woman or praise the black man when they choose to, embrace their sexuality or whatever the case may be, make it fair. And I just feel like if it's not for you, that's fine. If you don't like to see stuff like that, don't follow those people. Don't go after people that carry themselves that way. But stop, it's again like, stop judging people off of like, because they choose to be different.
Like I look at ASAP Rocky and Rihanna, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he respects her, he appreciates her, he cares about her across the board. But there was a time when she was floating her body out there too, but he saw past that shit. And he said, you know what? This is a good woman. And whatever she got to do to be an artist, because I'm an artist myself, and I got to do the things I got to do to sell records myself.
Yeah.
But he reveres this woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you ain't never heard of him out there doing something stupid because he knows what we can accomplish together supersedes what everybody else gets to see.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, Rihanna, the whole lingerie line. You know, I think even after their first child, she did this little photo shoot for her lingerie line. You know, and some crazy panties. You know, and it's just like it didn't take from her. I don't know. I just think that everything is situational, but I just feel like you shouldn't judge the next person because they do something that you wouldn't choose to do. You know,
Right.
I think
Right.
like what you like is what you like. Stay in your lane, but also don't sit here and be like someone deserves to be treated less than a human being because they're not perfect. Just like you. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody
Yeah.
is perfect. So you telling me because like you're not, you know, you want to act like you're perfect, but you're not. But because you're not perfect, I guess we all deserve to get treated like shit. We all deserve to get cheated on and go through heartbreak, and you know what I'm saying, like that's not fair. I don't care who it is, you know. But just like you said, no, I feel like it's men that date strippers, it's men that date porn stars, you know, it's men that date artists, actresses that got to do
Mm-hmm.
sex scenes and all types of stuff, you know. They gotta watch their husbands and wives kiss other people, you know. um it's definitely, and I think the only difference with Megan Thee Stallion is like part of that is her job. You know what I'm saying? Like, so as a man, like
Mm-hmm.
a regular man in the real world, if you see a woman just doing that shit for free, you know, on the internet, all right, that's on you if you want to deal with somebody like that. You know, that's not part of their job description. They just got it all out there. That's on you whether you want to deal with that or not, you know. But some of these people, it is a part of their job, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
And that's what she had to do to create the image that sells her records.
yeah,
Like if she could sell a record, if she could sell 1 million records and never take a stitch of clothing off, she probably would. But that's what the industry calls for right now, and
mm-hmm.
she has to be a part of the industry that what it calls for. Um, but I think before people start bashing people, like whatever part of the real person you can get to know, do that part first. You know what I'm saying? But I think the guys that are bashing her, they're bashing her because they know they can never have her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like they're not bashing her because of what she does or who they think she is. They bashing her because they need to find an imperfection in her to make themselves feel like, oh, I wouldn't want her, even though if she was to walk past them and give them an opportunity, them motherfuckers will fall down on the ground in a puddle so she wouldn't get her feet wet. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But
yeah.
don't bash her because you can't have her.
Right. And I think people really do sleep on the fact that, like, in the industry, believe it or not, even some things can be people's choices, but, like, believe it or not, they definitely push women to sell sex in the industry. Like,
Absolutely.
so it's not like, you know, I'm not saying someone can't have their own morals and say, no, like, I'm choosing not to do this. But I think, like, when it comes to the industry, period, that is a huge expectation when it comes to women. Like even when like men rappers or R&B singers, whoever, like since way back when have you not seen women being used as sexual objects in the background of these videos, you know? So and it's like, yeah, do women have to choose to do it? No, but this is something that the industry is like forcing. You know, it's like we're looking for women in bikinis with their ass hanging out, titties hanging out. Like, you know, I used to model in a sense, and it's like when you see some of these castings, it's certain things or even photo shoots. Like they're like, I want implied nude, I want vixen, I want this, I want that. And yes, it's up to a woman,
Mm-hmm.
but in the industry is definitely, and I can't imagine like a major artist because you just see it from like the background of like the photo shoots and the videos and stuff. So imagine like what they're trying to push a major female artist to do. Believe it or not, they have managers and stuff. And so when you have managers and stuff, they definitely do make you, not make you in a sense, but if you're signed to them, it's like,
They
oh,
make
you got it. Like if they got and not to say you don't like, honestly, I don't know. I don't know what's a part of some of their contracts, but if they was like, look, Playboy wants to do, this is a part of your contract that, you got to do some things, unfortunately, sometimes. So I feel like you really don't. I think that's another thing of it too, that people don't really know what is being pushed for these women to do, behind the scenes. Like, even, and sometimes you might not be comfortable, but they're like, no, we got to do this shoot, we got to do this video. You might be like, I ain't really comfortable wearing this. They're like, no, the ass gotta be out, So I think it's a lot to the industry that I think people don't really know.
Yeah, I've hung around people in the industry, and I know for a fact if you don't have an image already, your A&R is going to create an image for you, and if you want that check, you're going to be the image that they create for you.
Yeah.
Now, I've seen people turn things down. I've seen dudes that were thugs and they wanted to be made into a pretty boy, and it was like, I'm not going to do that shit. Fuck the check. But if you want that check, you're going to be whatever they tell you you are going to be.
Right.
Or you can just go back to the ghetto and I get the check.
Yeah.
Go to your 9 to 5.
and even like speaking on Megan Thee Stallion, like she don't have her backbone. As she's been in the industry all these years, she don't have that, her mother to be like, nah, I think this is a little too much. Not to say it is too much for her if that's what she want to do, but you don't like as a woman, period. Like you just. It's like women have had the closest women to them. Like, you think I should do this? Like, you think I should do that? So, like, imagine not having your mother.
Right.
I'm fucking 34 and I still be like, Mom, what should I do? And it's like I know what I want to do, but I need like confirmation from you. Like, what do you think about this? So the fact that she don't have that, she has like one less person to help guide her through this crazy ass, vicious ass industry. So I think people should definitely give her more grace and stop judging.
Yeah. And grace is what I think she needs and deserves. And she lost her mom right when she was just really making it. You know what I'm saying? When she was just getting on, that's when she lost her mom. So she's had to navigate this minefield, like you said, by herself, really. You know what I'm saying? She had close friends who turned out not to be really close friends, who did some shady shit also. So the one person who she could really rely on and trust, she don't have. So she's navigating a minefield right now. And if the world can't give her grace, you know what I'm saying? I think us as the Black community need to be like, look, she's making it work the best way she can. And we need to give her some grace and a little bit of love. But Klay Thompson, you're an asshole. You fumbled a good one, my dude. Just my opinion, but you fumbled a good one. But it's been a good show.
Yeah.
We're gonna take some more of these times to talk about some of the things that people are all wrong about on social media, because y'all motherfuckers are wrong. Watch her special. Everybody who has been on social media judging her, you got this preconceived image of her. Watch her special, and she'll see all the shit that she had to go through in the early part of her career. So just be cautious in that shit. But we out, y'all. We had fun. Hopefully everybody enjoyed it. Do us a favor, like, subscribe, share, post us, and we got some great shows coming up. So be on the lookout. If you don't have that notification bell hit, you are going to need to hit it, because we got some more incredible shows coming up soon. But until next Wednesday, y'all, we going to get some damn rest. Be easy, people.
Bye.
This is Love, Sex, and Society with Bridget and Don. Please like, subscribe, and share.